Welcome to BrosKnow, entertainment talk from Middle Earth. I am one half of your host, Eric.
And I'm Gavin. How was everyone? Missed last week, so double effort this time.
Sure, well, we've got a lot of exciting things happening today. The final of our Clash of the Geeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gavin's got a good lead though.
Crush you.
Oh, I've been searching for the hardest questions I can possibly find. Let's hope that they stump him because he's been in pretty good form. So
he's read all the questions.
Researching
the answers written on the back of my hand already.
All right, and we've got, of course, on our show as per normal, we've got our movie news. Gavin's going to bring us all the information and interesting things that's happened over the last couple of weeks. We've got our review, Chasing Great. I believe that's a story about Richie McCaw.
Yep, absolutely.
Richie McCaw, Gavin went to see that movie. He's got some interesting things to say about that. We've got our viewer's question, our first viewer question actually. There was a question from one of our comments on one of our videos.
Yeah.
And we're going to answer that question today. So if you're that viewer, you're going to get your question answered. And of course we've got Clash of the Geeks. I've got a lot of work to make up, but let's see how we go. But of course there's always the ever favourite crap Gavin brought on TradeMe. So there's also going to be a prize draw for, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I said that I would pay money for all the times I said and ah. It ended up to be around about $45.
Did anyone win?
Oh, someone will win because one of our lucky subscribers will win that cash money. All you need to do is send us your bank account numbers and any credit card pins.
Yep.
Fantastic. We want all that stuff. Yeah, so Gavin, let's rip into it. Movie news.
Excellent. So, first item, the 68th Emmy Awards was on Monday, I think it was. And it saw The People versus O.J. Simpson, An American Crime Story, and Game of Thrones came out the big winners for that. People versus O.J. Simpson won 5 Emmys. Game of Thrones won 3 Emmys, bringing Game of Thrones grand total up to 38, which surpasses the Fraser sitcom, which was at 37.
It was going for a long time too.
Yeah, so only 6 seasons, still a couple more. There's no doubt there'll be a few more added to that list. So the show was hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. Now a lot of people liked him, but apparently this has been the worst ratings on any Emmys Awards. I mean, I don't even watch it. Do you ever watch it?
No, you know, to be honest, I didn't even realise it was on. But I have been busy. I've moved house, so that's the reason why we actually missed last week's show.
Yeah, it's kind of dull, to be honest.
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
50 Shades Darker. The sequel to 50 Shades of Grey broke the YouTube records when it trailer scored 115 million views in 24 hours, beating its previous record holder.
No, don't tell me.
But Star Wars Force Awakens actually beat the previous winner, which was 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh gosh, you people are sick.
I know, just watch real porn. It's the internet.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, so 50 Shades Darker is set for release in February next year. So maybe the third one.
I definitely won't be seeing that.
Yeah, it would be even more than that. Okay, third item, Lee Biopic of sorts, anyway, is currently in development. However, this will not be your standard biopic. So it's going to be more of an action adventure. And in tone, it'd be something like the Kingsman or the Roger Moore type of James Bond set in the sort of the 60s, 70s type era. Movie had an initial release date of April 2017, but it's still in development, so it's probably unlikely it's going to come out around that time. But it sounds like a lot of fun.
April 2017 is pretty close to when the Avengers Infinity War was.
Yeah, it's no way. They're not even started. I don't even think they have a proper script in place yet, so there's no way that dates. So it's been a project that's been around for a while, but I think they've changed their minds and they're making it a bit more fun. It sounds cool. Stanley's a man, so it'll be great.
It's an interesting way to do a biopic, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And our last item, Jared Leto, Michael DeLuca, and Terrence Winter are producing a film about famed pop artist Andy Warhol. Film will star Jared Leto as Warhol, and Winter's, who's of Wolf of Wall Street fame. He'll be penning the script based on the book Warhol, the 1989 book Warhol by Victor Bockris. And there's no date on that yet, but given it's just in its very early days, I'm thinking 2018, something like that. Yeah. So that's our news items. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, gee, I think the 68th Emmy Awards is a little bit boring, so we'll just skip that. Boy, I don't want to talk about 50 Shades Darker. I do not want to talk about that, so I think we should go for our last two items,
sure.
if we can. The Stanley biopic.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
So, are they going to be inserting superheroes into it as if he's interacted with these superheroes?
I think a lot of the theories are that he's a spy, apparently, and through his spy stuff, he sort of comes up with these characters, or maybe that's his cover, the comic strip guy, and he gets him around the world, and he he works for the government or whatever.
Okay.
But it's there are aspects of his life that will be real, except told in this humorous manner. Yeah. So it sounds like a lot of fun. They're thinking about Bryan Cranston, maybe
playing
as well. Yeah.
Are they going to insert some of the Marvel cinematic actors into this? Maybe.
I don't know. I would not be at all surprised if they did. I mean, and it's this movie is a bit of a wink type of movie, so having these cameos in there, I'm sure. Yeah. Plus, it fits because he cameos in everyone else's really. So there's a cameo in theirs. It's
sort of like a character who's real clean cut, and then he bases it on the characters played by Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So and then that character just happens to be played by Chris Evans, and he based that person on Captain America, perhaps. I don't know. It sounds.
I would put them in as a random person, because he plays like a delivery guy or whatever. This fellow just walks into a party or something. I would put them in that role, and they just walk in just this 2-minute sequence, and then they're off again.
I would love to see Mark Ruffalo in there playing like a real ragey guy, guy who always getting angry, and then thinking, you could be.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and our last one, the Warhol pick.
Yeah, pretty interested with this one. I mean, I don't know a lot about Andy Warhol. I mean, he's a part of pop culture, obviously, but in terms of his actual life, there's not a lot I know about him. So it'll be pretty interesting to see. And I think Jared Leto's a great actor, I think. And
very good actor.
Yes, and he even looks like him. He changed the hair.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
No, I think he's a great fit for that. No one liked this Joker. I thought he was great as a Joker. I quite liked him as a Joker.
Yeah, I guess it was really hard to come after Heath Ledger, but this Joker looked interesting. I wanted another original Joker, and I think he delivered. You see?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was certainly there were elements of the other two because he's the same character, but it was very individual. It was very different to the other.
Anyway, we only got to see a small slice of him in Suicide Squad. So when he comes in one of the Batman movies, which I'm sure it's going to happen, then we're going to see full-on Joker, and we're going to see Jared Leto, really pulling it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so moving on. Weekly box office.
Okay. So at the American box office this week, Sully was on top again with 21,653,000. Blair Witch came in second at 9,576,000. Bridget Jones' Baby came in at 3 with 8,571,000. Snowden came in at 4 with 8 million. And Don't Breathe still sticking in there. This is about its fourth week, I think.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this is that's at 1,640,000. So that's still getting.
Blair Witch and Bridget Jones, is that their first weeks?
Yeah, I think yes, both of those first.
Okay, interesting.
So. I mean, Blair Witch didn't cost too much to make, so it's probably going to make it. Yeah. But I think they were hoping for it to do a little bit better than it did.
Critics, what do they think of Blair Witch?
Middling. Yeah.
Okay. New Zealand domestic.
Yeah, so Secret Life of Pets came out on top. Now, this is the second week, right?
New Zealand, yeah.
And that's, I think it did better than its first week, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
So that was 709,470. Bridget Jones's Baby came in second with 370,795. Sully came in third with 333,717. Peach Dragon 4 with 280,775. And Sausage Party number 5 with 213,000.
Sausage Party.
573. Yeah. A lot of people like that. It's funny. So
R-rated
good R-rated
movie.
comedy, yeah.
But Secret Life of Pets, it's over 800 million worldwide, so it's finally hit New Zealand shores, but it's done pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, out this week.
Okay, out this week. Captain Fantastic and Don't Breathe are out this week. So Captain Fantastic is it's about a guy and his family who decide to move away from technology and that stuff. Right. So they move into the forests of the Pacific Northwest. And this is starring Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah. This is looking certainly something that has some Oscar buzz. I haven't seen it, but those who have, not sure that it will be in those talks, will make a nomination, but it's certainly being positioned that way. Yeah, so pretty good reviews, probably a decent watch. And of course, Don't Breathe, we talked about that before, the horror thriller from America, which is making, this is getting great reviews, made a ton of money already. I think I can't remember how much it cost.
Horrors generally don't cost that much money.
No, it was pretty cheap, even cheaper than a lot of horrors that come out these days. And what is it up to? I think it's around 70 million or something like that. So
70 million. That's some decent. From the creators of Even Dead. So Sam Raimi, Rod Tappert.
Yeah, I think they're involved. No, I think it's the. Oh yes, so it is. Yes.
Boy.
I know. I'm thinking of Blair Witch. Blair Witch was directed by the guy who did the reboot of Evil Dead. Yeah.
Okay. Gavin, your review, Richie McCaw, Chasing Great.
Cool.
What's the story there?
So I'll play the trailer.
If you're going to be a good captain, then you've got a hell of a lot to learn. Being able to perform when it really, really counts, that's the bit that became a big challenge for me.
Welcome to your life.
He's almost like an explorer in a way. He wants to take the team to places that no one else has been before. He's an ordinary man, but he was doing something extraordinary.
First time I really understood who the All Blacks were was the '87 World Cup.
I can still visualise him on the floor, his eyes glued to the TV.
When he first arrived, he was not the most talented athlete, but what he did have was a massive desire.
You want to be an All Black? Let's write down a plan, mate.
You don't just want to be an All Black, you want to be a great All Black. And I was like, what? I just wrote GAB at the bottom.
the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. Everybody wants to the world.
It's exciting. I just want to get there. I just want to bring it on.
Okay. Now, this movie is, I quite enjoyed it. It's a documentary, obviously, and it follows the last year of Richie McCaw as an All Black. So it follows the build up to the World Cup, and obviously the World Cup 2015 World Cup, obviously. It's a surprisingly pretty movie because obviously Richie McCaw, he's a pilot, and he lives in the Canterbury Plains around there, so you get beautiful sweeping shots of the Southern Alps, which is pretty. Watching the final, the World Cup final, on the big theatrical screen is pretty damn cool.
Yeah,
Made me weepy eyes, I have to say.
What about the quarterfinal? Because that was a devastating game. The game against.
Oh yeah. They showed a bit of it, but they showed quite a lot of the final.
Of course,
yeah.
That's the most important
Yeah,
game.
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
I think the good thing about this movie, you don't necessarily have to be a rugby fan or a Richie McCaw fan. It's something that you can watch and appreciate for what it is. It's for aspiring rugby players who want to be All Blacks, kids particularly.
Yeah.
It's a really good story because Richie McCaw, he was not the most talented person, he was not the most skillful person going through the grades, that is. But it was his dedication and his hard work that made him the great player he is. Arguably the best player of all time, but certainly in those conversations. Yeah. And so if you're a young fella and you're watching this movie, I think you'd be pretty buoyed by that, and think you got a chance as long as you work hard and you keep on trying.
So I guess this thing portrays him as the straight up, honest, hard-working guy that we know. It
doesn't try to portray him as anything. It really just follows him, and it tells his story as a child, right? Yeah. I know that in interviews with him, he wasn't particularly interested in it, and they thought, well, it might be good for other people and that kind of things. This is why he agreed to do it in the first place. Yeah. And that's the kind of story it tells. It says, you don't have to be the best as long as you believe in yourself, you work hard, and who knows what you can achieve.
Really interesting because he became the best in his position. Certainly one of our greatest captains, inspirational.
Yeah.
So you're saying that he wasn't a naturally gifted Michael Jones?
No.
Or, a devastating runner like Jonah Lomu?
Yeah, absolutely. Steve Hansen even talks about that. I actually saw that interview before. He said, he was never the most talented guy, never the most skillful guy, but he had just an amazing work ethic. And
just a giant ticker, as they
absolutely,
say.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's what made him such a great person and a great captain, was that they just saw this ordinary guy who just pushed himself beyond the limits.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a good example of that was from the 2007 World Cup loss, and he was devastated. So he really just rethought everything he was doing. Yeah, and he. Went to he's a sports psychologist. Can't remember the name of the guy, but he talked to him about how to improve, how to look at things differently, how to deal with these precious situations.
It's not Anoka, is it?
Oh, I can't remember. I think he's the current one anyway. But so really interesting story and quite enjoyable. It wasn't something that I was particularly looking forward to. I have to mention Yes, he is from Canterbury.
You know, funny thing, Richie McCaw played for the All Blacks before playing for Canterbury. He played Super Rugby games.
Yeah, he was a Target Boys and he played
He played for the Crusaders and then got picked for the thing. He only actually played 45 games for Canterbury.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's just because of how much rugby the All Blacks play.
Well, that's absolutely true these days. They don't tend to play much provincial rugby.
Yeah. So anyway, probably not a movie that I would necessarily go out to the pictures and watch. But I was happy I did, and I had a good time there. I'm going to give it a 7.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
that's a pretty decent watch. That.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Obviously, there's going to be limited. There's a limited market to this. I mean, do you think the Aussies really want to watch their team getting thrashed in the World Cup final? So,
look,
this is New Zealand.
Internationally speaking, I think that rugby lovers, certainly Richie McCaw fans, they'll watch it.
Oh, yeah.
For New Zealanders, I think it's just a good watch and it's worth watching. I don't know, it's already dropped out of the top 5. It's only been a couple of weeks. I do apologise for the lateness of this review, by the way. I did see it a couple of weeks ago. But this is going to be on TV at some stage, probably not too far distance, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get some good
We should see it on Sky or TV1 or
TV1, I guarantee.
Thereabouts in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
So yeah, boy, some great memories from that moment. Both 2011 and 2015.
Yeah.
Great memories.
And some not so good ones for the 2007.
Would you what? 2007? I don't think there was a year 2007.
Yeah, that one got cancelled. Okay, well first actually there was no winner for last week's question, which was what was last week's question? Oh, okay. What movie was the song we played? Which is the song's called Up, and I forget the name of the cover group, but we'll put it on the thing on the video. But that movie is Sing Street. Great movie. I talked about that. That was one of our top 10 for the summer season. Good movie. No one got it right. No one wants our crap. It's good.
No one wants your crap.
All right. So we do have a question this week.
Okay. What do we got?
Okay. And since we reviewed Richie McCaw, that is going to be a question. How many games did the great man lose as All Black captain?
Gee, that's as easy as typing into Google how many games did Richie McCaw lose.
I can tell you, there ain't many.
Yeah, well, Richie McCaw's winning record as captain is probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Probably only second best to Kieran Reid as All Black captain now, because the All Blacks just don't look like they're going to be losing anytime soon.
Yeah.
But anywho, how many games did Richie McCaw lose as All Black captain? That's your question. Win some crap. Gavin brought on TradeMe.
Yeah, so please put your answer in the comment section and a number so we know what prize you're going to win, and we'll announce that next week. All right, cool.
Okay, so are we going on to our viewer question?
Viewer question, yeah. So, one of our viewers, Elaine, asked what's happening with the He-Man movie.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you that there is there's some development around that. It's actually been developed for quite a long time. People have been looking at it and putting it back in the cupboard. So, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, there's indeed a reboot in place.
Back in the 80s, they had a He-Man movie. It was
Dolph Lundgren. It was made by Canon. It was a shocker. Anyway, so
I watched it. I think I went to the movies. I might have seen it twice.
At the movies?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Actually,
save money.
There was like the first bit wasn't too bad, and they brought it to Earth, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I prefer without like beating up other people.
Yeah. So anyway, there's a reboot in works, and that is the director McGee is working on that. Now McGee, he did movies like Terminator Salvation. He did the Charlie's Angels movies. Currently in talks with Sony Pictures, who owns the property now, and they're developing a script. Now, there was a script in place. Now they're tweaking that script and working on that. They also have talked to Callan Lutz. Callan Lutz is he used to be on.
Callan Lutz was on the Twilight movie.
Twilight movies,
Yeah. He's the really strong one. The guy with black hair, right?
Yeah, and he also did a really bad version of Hercules, The Legend of Hercules. It was a horrible movie.
That was before the Rock's Hercules movie came out.
It was, yeah. But he certainly looks the part.
Yeah. He's big. Yeah.
So, although there is no casting in place, I know that he has been spoken to about that. He said he was open to it as well, and he looks, as I said, he looks the part. The other thing, so the movie apparently is going to be like an origin story. So if you know anything about Masters of the Universe, that's going to look at Prince Adam, who's the human or the normal version of this guy before he becomes powerful. And so it's going to be follow him and then how he found his powers or got his powers to become He-Man. Yeah. So it's supposed to follow that sort of storyline. They did talk about too. Now, I think it was McCaw was talking to Screen Rants from memory. Screen Rants, and you can catch that on YouTube or on just
Screen Rants.
Yeah.
One of my favourites.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that he was interviewing by then. So he said that it will be mostly somewhere else, so on different planets, but. Earth is a part of that law, so it would be mentioned, but they won't necessarily be going to Earth, which I prefer.
Yeah, I always feel that when they come to Earth, they do it because they don't have the budget to do like alien worlds. So it's like, let's go down to like the Burger King and you know, gee, get a budget, man, and go off world.
Yeah, that's right.
Bastards.
So there's no date on that. As I said, it's still in the works. It's certainly, it could be a really, really good movie. There's quite good lore around He-Man. It is a known property, as you know, that anything with a name they're throwing in these.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Pokemon, you got everything.
Yeah.
Tetris movies. Oh my god.
Gosh.
Yeah.
We never talked about the Tetris movie. Glad we didn't.
Yeah, so it certainly has a name, and there is a pretty decent fan base out there. So pretty interesting. But you know, it could be very much like the 80s version, just an absolute piece of shit, or it could actually be a really good movie. Depends on how they treat it.
Okay.
I kind of like how he's talking about it. He was talking about taking a sort of Kevin Feige type of view about these movies.
The problem with McGee is I find his more less substance and more flash.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not the guy who delves too deep with his stories. It's kind of a lot of action, and
I don't know if you need to dive too deep, but if you treat it with a bit of respect, I guess, you not make it campy. I think is the key. So I'd like to comments around Kevin Feige where, you know, superheroes are real. And you know, that's just, it's a matter of fact type of thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they go in too deeply, although they have in the later movies.
Yeah.
But if you talk about the early movies, Iron Man and stuff like that, you know, they were pretty much straight up superhero flash.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so there's your answer. Nothing yet, but certainly there's talks around that. And saying that, talks can go on for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, they can. They can be stuck in low production hell.
Yeah.
Where it just goes round. It's interesting. You know what I'd like to know? Why did Elon want to know about He-Man?
I don't know. Yeah.
He-Man fan, perhaps. Interesting.
Yeah. And I think one of the big things to think about with this movie too is, as I said, was that it could be an abysmal failure, and to make this movie properly, it's going to require a big budget.
Yeah, unfortunately it will. There's some spectacular special effects required with this type of movie. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, viewer question answered. Viewer questions, don't forget that if you have a question, all you need to do is leave it in the comments underneath one of our videos. We monitor all the comments that come up. and we will endeavour to give you an in-depth, accurate answer.
Absolutely. It's fun too.
Yeah, researching that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rightio. Well, you know what it's time for, don't you, Gavin?
Yeah. Woo.
Clash of the Geeks.
I will crush you.
Now, just to make it interesting, I think I should go first.
All right.
Because if Gavin answers too much questions, then I won't even get to answer my questions. So, yeah, I'll try and get a really good score, put some pressure on Gavin. Will Gavin be able to take it? I'll be looking at Gavin, the sweat be coming out of his forehead.
There you go. Just make sure those are your questions.
Yes, they are. Okay, so you have to ask me first.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll just
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, because if I ask you the questions, then you get... Remember, Gavin's currently 5 points ahead. The scores are here.
Alrighty then. Okay. So, first question. Which 1989 movie was about a crippled Vietnam War veteran who became an anti-war activist?
Born on the 4th of July.
Correct. Where are we? That one. Okay, from which 1956 musical did the Gary and the Pacemakers hit You'll Never Walk Alone come?
What musical did you say?
From which 1956 musical did the Gary and the Pacemakers hit?
Carousel?
Oh, very good. Well done.
That was a quiz question recently. That's the only reason why I got that.
Okay, very nice. In the 1970 movie MASH, for what did the initials stand?
Ooh.
Five, four.
Medical Army Hospital, something hospital.
Need an answer?
Multi-choice.
Was it A, Military Agency Surgical Hospital? B, Mobile Army Safe Hospital? C, Mobile Action Surgical Hospital? Or D, Mobile Army Surgical Hospital?
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital, D.
Correct.
Gee, I forgot about multi-choice there. Gosh, just about lost the point.
In the film Short Circuit, what is the name of the robot? Oh, no, oh yeah, sorry, that'll be, yeah.
Johnny 5.
Johnny 5, correct. In the movie Snatch, what's the name of Turkish's prize fighter who was knocked out by Mickey the Pikey?
Oh gosh, man, I'm not really familiar with that movie. I'll have to go multi-choice.
Was it A, Pretty Peter, B, Handsome Harry, C, Gorgeous George, or D, Debonair Dan?
What was A?
A was Pretty Peter, B, Handsome Harry, C, Gorgeous George, and D, Debonair Dan.
They all sound pretty good names. A or C? C.
Gorgeous George is correct. That's pretty good. That's 8 points of it.
8. Probably not going to be enough, but pressure's on now. Gavin needs to get 3. Okay, as I said, I scoured the box. I went to another box. Gavin's already picked which numbers he wants, so I'm just going to ask straight away. What singer and actor was born in Dino Paul Crossetti in 1917?
What actor singer?
What singer and actor was born Dino Paul Crossetti in 1917?
1917. I'm going to go with Dean Martin.
Correct. Gavin needs 1 point. But anyway, if Gavin passes my score, I want to see what Gavin's benchmark score is so that we can aim to knock it off if we can. So we will keep on asking questions. Okay. Who played the 12-year-old runaway prostitute in the 1976 movie Taxi Driver?
Oh, Jodie Foster.
Correct. Who played the Forger in the 1963 World War II movie The Great Escape?
Donald Pleasance.
Well done, correct. Okay. In the classic biker movie Easy Rider, where did Wyatt and Billy hide their drugs?
Oh, crap. Multi-choice.
Right. Let's just see what I've got. Okay. Was it in their bedrolls, in their tyres, in their gas tanks, in their hair?
I'm going to say gas tanks.
Correct. 1 point for that. Well done. The last question is, in the 1986 science fiction horror film Aliens, how many years was Ripley adrift in space? Wait. This gives you 3 options. 57 years, 67 years, or 81 years.
So this is from Alien to Aliens.
Yeah, there is no multi-choice for this because I just gave you the 3 options.
Sure. 57.
67 or 81 years.
I think it was like 81. I'm going to go with 81.
81. It was 57 years.
Oh, okay.
It's a very good score, Gavin. I think you got 7? You did multi-choice for 1, eh? So I lost by 4. Well done. Hell to the champ.
All is right in the universe.
All right, so that's 1 game each
Yeah.
with the new format. I like the new format. I won with the old format. You won with the new format. But I like the new format. It gives us a bit of a chance and gives the viewers a bit of a chance to actually guess those answers.
Have a go at home while we're playing. Play it yourself. Just pause it before we answer and tell us what your scores are.
Right. These are some of my mini trophies. Kevin, you can have that.
Nice.
But I'll just be taking that back in about 4 weeks' time.
My precious.
Okay, so Clash of the Eggs over and done with. That's our show.
Yeah, just to let everyone know, if you see our sets are a little different, we're just, and that's why we missed last week.
Yeah.
We're going to be changing our set and our format a little bit.
We are going to be changing our format, so our show is going to be a little bit shorter, and we've missed a large chunk of it today. We've missed our top. We usually have a top 5, top 10. That's going to be in a different show.
Yeah, I think it's better to break up. Then we can give it a little bit more time, and then the main show is not as long as it has been.
Yeah, I mean we tried to cut it down as much as we could, but in the end we thought it'd be just easier to split it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the end of this show. Hopefully you'll be joining us for our countdown, which is in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
Yeah, which was last week or the week before?
Yeah, week before.
Yeah, because we're off just changing around our stuff, we missed it, so we wanted to get onto it because we're Trekkies.
Okay, so our because there's been 13 Star Trek movies, our countdown is going to be Star Trek movies rated from worst to best. So we're going to tell you what our top Star Trek movie is. Look out for that. Gavin, any last words?
No, just remember, subscribe, like, do all those good things, or don't, but certainly come and see us next time. Thank you very much.
Okay, also the winner of the cash prize is going to be printed somewhere down there.
Okay, cool.
It might be my name because I'm pretty poor after the movie. So anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.
Sweet.